Welcome back.
We can restart. We can redo that.
Welcome back to Class on Grass Weekly.
Well, you can do COG Weekly or Class and Grass Weekly. So what do we think? Like,
what do we? Yeah.
This is great that we're making company decisions. Like,
Season 3, episode 17.
yeah, just so people know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paul, I see that you're already in the chat. First off, sit on this. What do we call it? COG Weekly or Class on Grass Weekly?
It's a bit long.
It is. It is. Class on Grass Weekly seems like it's harder to be catchy. You know what I mean?
COG Week. Yeah, I should probably stick with COG.
Yeah.
Did I do that last week?
You did.
Okay.
You did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
Paul?
the first thing, first before we get into the kits, I would like to, say personally, Prison FC has gained another member, a possible manager, or someone of influence on the squad, but maybe not on the field, and that is DT.
Prison TV.
TV.
He'll start his own fan club.
Oh, that's good, bro. Oh, God. All right, so we've got, so back to the serious act. Prison TV has gained another. Bro.
Not this again.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This happened with Among Us. But yeah, we have to talk about the kits. We do. Paul said, "Prison fan TV coming soon."
I think so.
It would be so class.
Yeah.
It would be so class. You get the inmates.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to them in between matches, like, well, we've got Gylfi, we've got Basuma, we've got Ronaldinho in the midfield. The double pivot.
Basuma is transferred out.
That's true. This was past.
Yeah, he had a loan.
Basuma had a loan with option to buy.
Yeah.
And then they were like, no, we don't like his quality.
Yeah, exactly.
But Gylfi's there to stay, probably.
Yeah.
So, Gylfi and Ronaldinho in that double pivot is something, it would be quite remarkable.
Yeah.
So, Prison Fan TV is running it, inmates, interviewing them. So I'm looking forward to watching that.
Yeah.
But yeah, all jokes aside, DT did something that he should not have done.
No.
And that has revoked him from his Arsenal Fan TV status. And they did release stuff about it, saying they've removed all videos.
Yeah.
And everything.
They're
And they're donating the revenue they've made.
Well, it was one video, right? Is what they said.
Yeah,
but,
something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're handling it. AFTV's handling it pretty well. But yeah, it was such a strange thing to come up and happen this past week. But getting into the jerseys, which we have on, if you were listening last podcast, which I assume you all were, if you weren't, what were you doing? Go back and listen to the last one too. But if you were listening to the last podcast, we did say, among many other things that we said we would do, that we would wear the Egypt and Nigeria kits.
Our favorite AFCON teams.
Yes, our respective teams that we are watching throughout the tournament. Supporting, everything like that. So yeah, we have them on now, and we've got that little clash going.
So yeah, here it is. I talked about it last pod, the Egypt kit. Then you have the...
It's a strange one with
it's a throwback. I think it's a training jersey.
What?
When I bought it.
So where did you buy this?
It was the classic football shirts.
So they sent you this as well. So you've done two now.
No, this was mystery kits.
So you bought this online.
Yeah.
So you knew you were getting the Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay. And that one was mystery.
This was a mystery.
Dude, I really want to do a mystery kit.
We said it. We need to do one on.
It would be so
on
hype.
the episode.
It would be so sick.
The adrenaline I got.
Dude,
opening it.
Did you actually?
Well, you just don't know.
Dude,
you don't know.
What would be the worst kit you could get?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's either the worst as in your rival or the worst.
Yeah, if I got a Palace kit, I'd throw it away.
Or,
I would actually throw it away.
Or if it's just it looks really bad. I think I'd rather have. I don't know.
If I got I was about to say if I
There's
got
no
a
team.
Crawley Town kit, but then at the same time you get that League 2 experience under your belt.
No, if I got a League 2 team, this is sick.
Me and my dad are planning a possible trip before I go off to college later in the summer and this would obviously be before the 2021-22 season ends, but to go to Europe and visit ideally England and visit the Amex, because obviously
of course
we have to visit the Seagulls.
St. Mary's or
well, they're close.
You could.
They're of proximity.
Yeah,
so we could possibly. But then we were also thinking visit like a championship and a League Two stadium and like go to a game.
So yeah.
So you know the Copa 90 like ranks where the guy does like it's the like out of 92.
Yeah.
He like goes to each stadium and ranks them. So we like watched all of those yesterday that he's done so far, and we were like, oh, this one's good, and this one's not. I think we decided like Colchester would be a cool one to go to.
So I'm going to London spring break, and we'll be seeing Fulham in the championship. One game there, and then we'll also possibly see in a League Two game, maybe Leyton Orient.
That would be sweet.
Because there's actually a surprising number of teams in London that are like League Two, League One. So we're looking around, and
London area and then the Northeast is so condensed with lower league teams over in the UK. But yeah, it'd be so sweet to go to like a League Two or League One game. Would you get a pie?
You have to.
You'd have to. I mean, I just can't imagine.
Yeah.
But like when you were so you went to Southampton Stadium already.
I did. Mm-hmm.
And you've experienced. I've never actually gone to a football match in the UK. I've gone to other parts of Europe, but never in the UK. Did you previously get like a beef pie or something like that when you were there, or are you not such?
I don't think I did, because that was like, it must have been like 7 years ago now. But and then the other one. So we did go to a Fulham one before too when they were in the Premier League.
Oh yeah.
And we went to Wembley.
At Craven.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Wembley. Wembley was huge. Like,
who was playing at Wembley?
It was Tottenham when they were playing there.
Oh.
They played Chelsea.
That's a great game to go to.
It was. We got there so we were at the Fulham Southampton game,
mm-hmm.
and then we took an Uber to Wembley right.
So you
after.
went straight back to back in the same day.
Yeah. So we missed like the first half of the Wembley game.
Yeah.
But it was still pretty fun to watch.
That's sweet. And Wembley's just a place, dude.
I mean, if you ever get to be in it, like, it's huge.
Is it?
Like, on TV, you're like, oh, that's a huge stadium. But when you go there, like,
so comparing it to, like, American, like, if you compare to, like, US Bank Stadium, what are you saying?
It feels way bigger.
Really?
Yeah. It's similar.
Is it the bowl? Is it the bowl that makes it feel bigger?
I think so. Because US Bank, I feel like it's more vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fans aren't as far away. Wembley, you know, it goes up, it slopes up like that, and it was just massive. And I mean, obviously I didn't fill it, but it was still pretty full. The whole lower bowl was full, and then
some of the upper.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that at like League Two sides and League One and like maybe in the Championship, you know, those stadiums still hold quite a bit because those teams bounce up and down, but mostly in like League Two and League One, there's a lot of stadiums that have standing terraces, but they're not like a lot of the non-league teams where it's just like a bar around the stadium where you can stand and watch. These are legit stands, but you can't sit down. Kind of like the Wonderwall for United or, you know, Dortmund's wall.
Yeah.
But they're so compact together. It's crazy. And they go up like 10 or 11 like feet or like different levels of stairs. It's crazy though. I've never.
It's because of the limbs.
Dude, it is.
So people don't go flying everywhere, but yeah, I really hope I get to see a League Two game.
I just feel like the atmosphere would be so different.
It has to be.
It would be. Paul said that he visited the UK and went to a Chelsea Palace game, an Arsenal Man City game, and a Man United Everton game. Like, I completely understand the need to go to games like that, but you're not immersing yourself in proper English culture.
No, yeah. Exactly.
A lot of those big teams have pretty recent stadiums. You know, Arsenal are in the Emirates. Chelsea, I mean, Stamford Bridge is
pretty
historic,
old, yeah.
But
Man United pretty old.
Yeah, and that's like it's like cool stadiums to go to, but there's a lot of like League One, League Two, and Championship teams that have stadiums that were built in the 1850s, 1860s. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, they've been around forever. And I feel like just getting a piece of that history would be so cool.
No, yeah.
It'd be insane.
For sure.
Moving from, you know, condensed Europe with all those teams down to another continent, the continent of Africa, we are covering AFCON again during this episode. Not for quite as long, but because it is one of the largest tournaments happening right now, if not the largest tournament happening right now. We have to cover it. And we're going to start with the Hasani of the Week. And last week, Vincent Abubakar got the Hasani of the Week. It was great. You know, he scored 2 goals. They were both pens. We were like, these are great pens. And since we've awarded him the Hasani of the Week, he has scored a header against Ethiopia in their 4-1 win, an open play goal against Ethiopia in their 4-1 win. And then another goal against Cape Verde, I don't really know how you'd say it, in their 1-1 draw. And that was a really, really nice goal.
It was.
So now he's on 5 goals in 3 games, and he's added 3 to his tally since he previously got the Hasani of the Week.
Yep.
So if you cannot already guess, it's the only time we've had a repeat contender for Hasani of the Week, and the only time we've had a repeat person who's won it, and it's Vincent Aboubakar. He's making history.
He is. And, like, obviously, you would think we would know if there has ever been a repeat. But from what I can remember, I don't really think of one, at least not back-to-back. I don't know if someone has gotten
the biggest
it.
problem is, like, we discontinued the Hasani of the Week
Yeah,
for about a season and a half.
There was a bit of a gap.
There was a huge gap.
But definitely no one has gotten it back-to-back weeks.
Dude, incredible.
And that's very hard to do.
It's incredible.
With the amount of competition.
Well, I think it's even harder to do it in a tournament where you're representing your country. That matters a lot.
Yeah.
You know, you only get so many games, so they're much more nerve-wracking and whatnot. So he's going on a crazy tear right now.
Yeah, usually the top scorers of tournaments have like 5 goals.
Yeah.
Like in all. Because it's only, I don't know, 7 games?
They've already
if you go all the way.
So
it's like 6 games.
They've played 3 games now.
They've played 3.
Yeah, they played 3.
Yeah.
So they've played their group.
Yeah.
And they've gotten 7 points. I think they topped their group. I know they're through.
Yeah.
So we'll at least have 1 or 2 more games, maybe more, to add to that tally. And I'd say with his form right now, it seems quite likely that he could.
So on his form, he could get like 10 goals.
That would be insane. That would be unbelievable.
We can't do it back to back to back.
We could do a 3-peat. I think it's acceptable.
It has to be deserved, though. It can't be a biased thing, you know.
Paul said DT is not the Hasani of the Week.
I don't think so.
I don't think that DT has earned the prestigious award of Hasani of the Week.
Yeah.
He's the Hasani of not the week.
He's
the
opposite of the Hasani.
He's the inverse of the Hasani of the
exactly.
week. Bringing a little bit of math into it. But yeah, he's been so good, Vincent Aboubakar. And so he definitely deserved that repeat Hasani of the Week. And then we also have to talk about it, and I know you can talk about this game, but the 2 jerseys that we're wearing,
yes.
And one of the, things that we were really looking forward to this week, you could call it a featured match.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, of this week, is the Nigeria-Egypt game, which happened.
It was. Sadly, my Egypt team did lose to yours.
We are so nasty.
I believe it was 1-0.
I can give you a update on all the lineups and everything too.
You can. I was devastated to see the score after we recorded.
You were crying in your room.
I was throwing things around my room.
You're correct about that.
Yeah. Who scored? Anyone?
Well, I'm looking at substitutes right now. Alex Iwobi wasn't even on the starting lineup. What?
At least it wasn't Iwobi who scored, but
I can't tell you that for sure yet. Oh, it was Kalichi.
You probably could have put money on that.
Oh yeah, totally. You could have. The starting lineup for Nigeria was Kalichi, Chukwueze, Ndidi,
from Villarreal.
Yeah. Trustakong, Ndidi.
Just a solid team.
Yeah, they did. And I mean, they subbed on Alex Iwobi and, some other players that are in top leagues around Europe. So they definitely had a very solid lineup.
Yeah. Despite the loss, though, Mo Salah next game wins it on a volley. So I believe Egypt are sitting
I will check for
safely maybe at second position if you look at the standings.
Standings right now for Egypt are second position with 3 points, but they've got Guinea-Bissau below them, as well as I just lost it. They've got Guinea-Bissau below them. I know that. What is going on with my gosh, this is the most annoying. And Sudan below them, both on 1 point. So as long as they win their last game, or even tie their last game, they
yeah,
because they've already played Nigeria, who are top in the group. So they just need a tie, and then they're through. And I think that's completely possible.
I think Mo will get the job done.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
totally. So that was definitely a match.
It was fun to have
It was to have that bit of a rivalry outside of the Premier League.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? But yeah, AFCON is trudging along, and there has been a lot of craziness that has happened. I know we have gone through some of the highlights throughout this past week, And we talked about it last episode about how the defending seems to be reckless and passionate.
Yes.
The passion is just boiling over. It's
Yeah.
craziness. But, I mean, just to bring that passion into the attacking side, people are taking shots from like 40 yards out.
Yeah.
Like real shots.
Yeah.
Not like I'm going to chip the keeper. Like I'm going to shoot it with power right now, which is crazy. But
it's how
also
football should be
beautiful.
played. Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Exactly.
One of these times is going in.
Yeah, and then everyone be like,
that is
"Oh, he's such a skilled player." Yeah.
I mean, it is very,
and that's
very
why you
fun
shoot from
competition
there.
to watch. Or, I mean, I don't have Fubo TV, which is just like I'm crying in my room every day about it because I don't. But
the highlights
are fantastic. So yeah, AFCON is trudging along and it's doing well. But another thing that happened throughout this past week, or honestly today, and yesterday, was the FIFA Best Awards, and they were announced, and we have a lot of players to go over. But the first one is Lewandowski winning the Player of the Year, and I think very justified.
I think so. I mean, if you're him, he won it last year and this year, so if you're him, you're like, I would trade both of those for a Ballon d'Or.
Oh yeah,
like
100%.
I don't. Obviously, you have to be honored with that award, but it's really the FIFA Best Awards is kind of like the second to the Ballon d'Or. So I don't know. I just feel bad for him because I feel like if that was possible, he could be like, I'll take one Ballon d'Or for these two.
Totally.
Like
I would as well if I was a player.
Yeah.
If I was a player in contention for the Ballon d'Or, which is future plans.
It's very near.
It is.
Future.
It is cool.
It is.
But I would totally trade FIFA Best Awards for the Ballon d'Or. And then there was also, released like I don't know what you would call it. They released the ballots
votes,
from
the
all of the
ballots.
players. And I know you have a couple, but I remember Serginho Dest. They posted his. Did you see it?
I did not.
So he voted Lewandowski first, Jorginho second, and Messi third. And so very respectable in my opinion, but very
those are the three.
Controversial one. And a lot of the comments who were United States fans were like, I don't like Dest anymore because he voted Jorginho. So
Okay, yeah. So they did come out and like you said, Lewandowski, Messi, and Jorginho were probably the main three. There were exceptions, like I believe so Messi and Thiago Silva both put Neymar as first in their ballot, which you could say just team friends, but like
you have to think that there is some bias going on with these players.
Yeah.
Like, right, Lewandowski totally deserves it, but Serginho Dest I don't know, it just feels like Serginho has a lot of friends on the national team that play in the Bundesliga, and you would think that he's very influenced based on what his teammates think. A lot of times you're surrounded by them, especially in national team camp, and they're like, gosh, this Lewandowski is going crazy. But then I think about it, and he did play with Messi last year.
That's true. But like other interesting ones, players like Lewandowski, obviously you can't vote for yourself, but he put Jorginho first. Salah put Jorginho first.
You think that was strategic?
Honestly, probably. Probably. But so Conte actually made a lot of these as well. And I think the biggest surprise out of this is Ronaldo's, who did not have Messi in his top three. He had Lewandowski first, Conte second, and Jorginho third. So
you're not allowed to put yourself.
No.
Hmm.
But
Did no one vote for
Ronaldo's
Messi?
not Messi.
Or did no one vote for Ronaldo? That's tough.
I don't think so.
That's so tough.
Lewandowski put Ronaldo at third.
Let's go. Dude, I'm watching the Juventus All or Nothing right now. Have you seen it?
I did watch it.
Is it done? Like, are they not coming out with episodes anymore?
No, because that was last season.
Oh, no, they were releasing it this year, weren't they?
They released it, but it was from last season. So
well, yeah, it was from last season, but I was wondering if they were
if they're
doing
like
a cumulative or like not like
No, I think all the
premieres.
episodes are out. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was watching it. I'm 3 episodes in, and I've been.
How are you with your Italian?
Oh, I'm getting better.
Yeah.
I'm getting better.
Did you do subtitles, just reading those.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and my mom watches, and she has pretty bad eyes, so
Oh.
we've made the subtitles almost as big as the whole movie.
So you're really just reading
Oh yeah, we're just reading
the documentary. Okay.
But I've Ronaldo with his sunbathing, and his vegetables.
I was
and-
inspired by that. Like, if
Dude,
I had
today, literally today,
Yeah.
I've been so laser focused
Yeah.
on. This is not what I'm supposed to eat if I want to be
Mhm.
like Ronaldo. Like, it's just not. I
Yeah.
need to go sunbathe, even though it's 20 degrees outside. I need to get the vitamin D for my
Yeah.
body.
If it wasn't January in Minnesota,
Oh, totally.
I would be going outside like he did, laying on the wall,
Yeah.
shirt off.
Oh yeah. Well,
everything.
because everyone would enjoy seeing my bodily
Yeah.
presence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you notice that there was like 4 times in the first 3 episodes that he walked into a very business casual type of environment where people are dressed up
Mhm.
in his underwear?
Yeah. It's a strange.
He
He probably has less than
he
desirable
walked into the owner's
amount
office.
of clothes on.
He walked into the owner's
Yeah.
office with his underwear on. Like
But
no other player in the world could do that.
Yeah.
Messi could not walk.
Well, he
into the
does have
owner's
his
office with
own.
underwear.
He was just advertising. He has his own underwear brand.
He does.
So
Do you think that's it? Did you see that? Well, did you remember
that's in
that?
the contract.
Uh,
I'm allowed to walk around and advertise my underwear
I think
brand.
that the owner of the club, or like the GM of the club, they talked about the GM all the time. Oh,
Thanks, Paul.
thank you for welcoming Paul P. Pigeon. Hello. Great to see you. Yeah, that threw me off.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
like,
Paul. I was like,
Welcome,
wait, Pigeon.
Yeah.
Welcome, Pigeon. I don't know who you are, but welcome to our stream,
Yeah.
and we hope that you enjoy our content about football. But yeah, the GM was walking by when he was doing the sunbathing,
Oh yeah.
and he was like, "Why is your shirt not on? You don't have your sponsor." And I was like, "I don't advertise anyone else. I only advertise my own brand."
Yeah. So
yeah.
you're like 3 episodes.
I'm
in?
3 in. It's really solid. It's really really well done.
Nothing beats the Man City one though.
But yeah, the Man City one was
because
good.
they had the Tottenham one, which was pretty good with Jose.
Jose is a good one to get behind the scenes acts.
But-
with,
I'm excited for the Arsenal one, which is this season.
Paul, I wonder how you're feeling about the Arsenal one coming
Yeah.
out. Because it's gonna be good. They've obviously been doing pretty well this season.
I mean, it's been an up and down. Like
recently.
the Aubameyang story will be interesting.
That's a good point. They're gonna
Yeah.
have really good coverage.
They'll have
on
very
that.
good content.
There's gonna be some really good stuff to watch out for in that one. But I'm only
Yeah.
3 in on the Juve one, and I'm really enjoying it.
Mhm.
And so I'm looking forward to see how that goes. No spoilers, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But then moving on, there was another award that was given out. Well, there was like 5 more, but
Yeah,
the
they do,
the
like-
next award.
They
Which
do the
is-
whole list. The Women's Player of the Year was Putellas, who also won the Ballon d'Or, and then Tuchel won Manager of the Year, which was pretty expected, I think. Edouard Mendy, Goalie of the Year. Lamela Rabona against Arsenal. Sorry, Paul. He won the Puskás Award. What do you think about that? Because usually it goes to like these outrageous strikes, and then this one it takes a lot of skill, but I feel like if you're not a soccer fan, you're like, why is that special? Because it was just like, a very slow shot into the corner.
The problem that I have with the goal is that like I could do it. Like
Oh.
I wouldn't think of it in
No.
the moment, but I could totally do that.
I think that's why it was chosen. It was like no one's ever really like.
You know what I mean though? It's not like I am actually thinking that I can do this in a game, but most of the Puskás, you're like, you put me on a training field and I'm not doing that if I get 100 chances.
Yeah.
You put me on a training field, I'm able to Rabona it into the bottom right corner.
That's very true, because there hasn't been an award like that where you're like, it's not extremely hard, but it's one that
It's just
you
out of the
don't,
box.
Yeah, you don't do in a game.
Yeah, like I would never think to do that in
Yeah.
his position, but also it's not like ridiculously difficult.
No.
So it's kind of a weird one. I mean, they kind of strayed off of what they normally do. But I mean, no joke. Like all jokes aside, it was still very.
Oh,
cool.
it was. I remember watching it live, and I was like, did he just actually just do that? Like,
Yeah, it was crazy. We do have to move over to the Premier League though, because obviously the Premier League was back this week. There was no FA Cup or any cup games of any sorts like we had last episode. And there's been a lot of news, especially surrounding GP and Brighton.
Yes.
Because
I
Rafa
need your opinion
Benitez
on this one.
was sacked from Everton, and Most people are thinking that Graham Potter, or at least Everton fans and lots of pundits think that the next Everton job should go to Graham Potter. And I don't like it at all, obviously. Graham Potter's been fantastic for us the past couple years that he's been with us, and he's transformed the way we play. He's built up a side of players who contribute very well in their respective positions. We've gotten a lot of good young talent that's either been sold or going to be sold for 40, 50 million in that range, So he's done wonders for the club. So I don't want him to go. And the other problem that I have is that he's on a really good streak with us right now. And if he goes to Everton, I think his chances of failure are a lot higher than if he stays at Brighton. And Everton's not that big name club that's going to cement you as a perfect best manager of all time if that's what he's going for. So I don't see the reason or the need for him to leave.
Yeah, it's like you said, I'm thinking of it as a beard analogy. So he's got the beard going.
He does.
And as he's been growing it, Brighton have gotten better this season. And, I feel like if he goes to Everton, it's a downgrade.
Is he snipping the beard if he goes to Everton? Okay, I'm predicting.
Yeah.
See, I've got that prediction level.
We think the same.
We do.
That's
why we do a podcast.
Yeah, if he goes to Everton, that's a downgrade. And he will shave the beard. He'll be like, new start.
New style on me.
And
Look at me with all my money.
He'll get relegated. And
well, you know who else will get relegated if he leaves? I know Paul said this in the chat, but Potter leaving Brighton is a one-way ticket to the championship for the Seagulls as well.
It's true.
I think that we go from a mid-table to above mid-table side all the way down to a relegation contender pretty much immediately.
Yeah, your talent isn't insane. It's just you play very well.
We need a number 9 and we're Man City.
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there right now. We need a number 9 and
so
we're
you're
Man City.
10th right now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's that would definitely boost you
I'm trying
at
to check
least
the table
5
to see.
places.
If we had a good striker, we could totally be in the Europa League.
I feel like that's every team though.
Yeah.
If we had a player who could score 20 goals.
But no one has the XG that we do. It's that's so true. Bad. It's ridiculous.
You are unique with if
we're
a better player was in Mape's position in a lot of those games, or at least not Mape, because Mape is the only one who can score an equalizer.
Mape and Welbs are fine, but we need someone who is consistently going.
They are backups though.
They are.
But they're playing as well. Welbs isn't. He's coming off the bench, but Mape doesn't seem to want to be the main man.
He does. He's not consistent.
No.
Although he did have a great move in this past week's match against Palace. Obviously, it was Derby week. And so it was Brighton versus Crystal Palace. Well, for quite a few teams, the NLD was supposed to be this past week.
That's true.
So. Yeah, the first goal came from Conor Gallagher. It was poor defending from Brighton, but it was a very good goal from Conor Gallagher. I initially thought he hit it with the inside of his foot on the volley, but then I looked at the replay and he really just hit it with his instep. It was really well done. But Brighton definitely had the bulk of the chances and possession and level of play. It was generally higher on Brighton's side. So we kept generating some chances in the end of the game. I'm not sure exactly the minute. Mape received the ball and did a lovely turn where he flicked it up, and then he crossed it in, and it went off of Anderson, right? And then own goal. Leveled at 1-1. Probably a deserved score, if not 2-1 to the Seagulls.
A draw is a deserved score for every Brighton game.
Oh, it is.
It seems these days, but...
We're draw merchants.
It would be criminal to not talk about goal of the season contender from the best free kick taker in the world.
Oh, we will talk. We 100% need to talk about that.
So,
moving over to the Southampton game.
A loss, but that's not the point.
A loss, but we don't care about the loss.
Yeah,
I take that loss with that goal.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how you feel about it as a Southampton fan when points actually really matter for you. But I totally take that loss with that goal.
So I didn't even see it live.
You didn't?
So I was texting you.
Was I texting you while it went in?
So yeah, I was texting you. And then you said something and then I looked up and it was at the top corner of the net. And then it bounced down and I was like, what just happened? He's from 40 yards out. How's that in the net? And so I see it again. I'm like, that's the best goal he's ever scored. But
He's never done it before.
yeah, so James Ward-Prowse is known for the curve, the David Beckham-esque free kicks, which, by the way, he moved up to second all-time on free kicks
For
with
the
12. Yeah, and Beckham with 16, so he's only 4 away. I think he's gonna, not this year, but in the next 3
might
years.
surpass him.
Yeah, he will.
But yeah, what I mean by, for anyone in the chat or listening, what I mean by he's never done it before is not he's never scored a free kick like that before, but he's never hit it with swaz like that. It's just so
he hit
different
it
to his
like
traditional technique.
Yeah, he kind of knuckled it.
And it swazzed.
Yeah, and you have to look it up to really get the real point of it, because, it really was way out there.
Well, I thought you guys were going to come back after that goal.
We hit the crossbar.
I know.
4 minutes
shortly
later.
after.
4 minutes later, we hit the crossbar. Would have made it 2-2. We would have probably went home with a 2-2 draw. Been pretty happy with that.
But then
Adama Traore came on.
Dude, no, but let's be real here. He had 2 golden opportunities, so one of them was going in.
Oh.
The first one was ridiculous. Straight out of the stadium. I'm pretty sure. With that leg strength that he's got, that is out of the stadium.
Yeah.
But then the second one he did tuck away.
Which
is crazy.
It could have ended. We missed 2 huge chances in the first half as well. If you can remember.
Yeah.
It could have ended like 4-3, really, to Wolves.
Yeah.
So, all in all, I wasn't expecting to win that game. But we got a goal of the season out of it, so I'll take it.
I'm so confused right now. I'm looking in the chat, and I just see Paul goes, "If my aunt had wheels, she'd be a bike." Which, yeah, little scraggly throat there. But he said, "If my aunt had wheels, she'd be a bike." Which is like, yeah, but what are we referring that to?
I'm not. Really, that's
Paul, you're gonna have to elaborate on that.
It's from like a TV show in London.
Oh yeah, no, I know. It's like there was like the cooking show, right? Yeah, so that's where he got it from. But Paul, where are you relating this to? Like
he's just talking to himself.
Paul uses this as like his to-do list.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Paul's gonna start putting his chores in the chat, and then he's just gonna start crossing them off as he goes while he watches.
Yeah.
This is not a place where Paul talks to us.
No.
He just gets. Last episode we had the same thing.
Well, yeah, at least he was talking to someone else.
Dude, he was having a conversation with someone else in the chat about like Mason Greenwood, and we weren't talking about United. It was really strange, but yeah, great, Paul. Just keep going with whatever.
But Chelsea.
But the Chelsea game.
Yeah. So Man City, Chelsea to finish off the Prem recap. Same old. Man City move 11 points clear with 56 points. Liverpool are second with 45. Even though Man City played one more game. Did you see De Bruyne's goal? Because that was really the big highlight from that
I'm not
game.
talking about the beautifulness of the goal. I'm talking about something that made me want to like rip my hands off.
Really? Well, I don't.
Gosh. N'Golo Kante hasn't missed a slide tackle in like 5 years.
Oh, he did get spun.
And then he slid and he missed.
Yeah.
Like what?
But that's expected.
No.
Yeah.
Not with N'Golo. N'Golo.
Yeah, but
Kante.
that Leicester. You're thinking of Leicester and early Chelsea days, Conte.
Still, man doesn't miss that many tackles.
Well, you can miss one.
No. Conte is.
That's
like,
true. He didn't back up all the people who put him in the top 3 for FIFA Best Awards.
Well, I was looking at this like TikTok, and it had all these stupid opinions. It's the worst TikTok.
Oh
I've
yeah,
ever
yeah.
seen.
That
It was
was,
like one of those like unpopular opinions that are right. I'm like, all of these are wrong. Literally not a
was
single
it the
one of these.
Casemiro one?
No, it wasn't. It was a different one.
One guy said Casemiro was the best CDM
Okay.
in the history of football.
In the history.
Yeah.
Stop.
Or of our generation, which is like
Still.
okay, Busquets.
No, yeah, we're
Conte.
not. Let's not get involved
Yeah.
in that discussion.
Anyway,
But yeah, this unpopular opinions guy was like, Conte is so overrated. He is not even close to
Yeah.
one of the best center mids in the Prem. I'm like, dude, are you stupid? He's like one of the best CDMs of our generation.
Yeah.
Actually, of our generation. So that like after reading that unpopular opinions and then moving over to watching the game where he just completely missed a slide tackle, it was a bad day.
yeah,
It was not a good day for me. I was like, my man,
that's tough.
you're really not backing up my thoughts here.
Mhm.
I mean, it's craziness. But yeah, the goal was good.
It was a decent goal.
Yeah,
But it's a Man
It
City.
was okay.
Man City score those every game, so
It was not like he was 25 yards out and curled it into the bottom right, but it was a good.
Yeah,
goal.
it's true.
De Bruyne.
Yeah.
What else do we have to say? He's a solid player.
He's okay.
He's all right.
Yeah.
I think he, he deserves a spot in that City team.
Yeah.
I think as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah, I think so. One player who could be better than who I
Where are
know.
we going with this?
Yeah, who you can take this one, but MLS news.
It is
For you.
MLS news.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's gonna be better than De Bruyne. I think that's up to interpretation of self and
Where was De
self-belief
Bruyne
Where was De Bruyne
10
when he
years
was
ago
where-
when he was 14?
more? We're in like 28, 29 now, man. But yeah, MLS news. 14-year-old Axel Kai, homegrown with Real Salt Lake, played for their USL affiliate when he was 13.
He's 30.
De Bruyne, yeah, so De
Yikes.
Bruyne. So how much are we?
16
16
years
years ago was De Bruyne at this level? Probably not.
No.
But yeah, he played when he was 13 in the USL Championship, and then when he was 14, obviously hasn't played a game, but just got signed to a homegrown contract with Real Salt Lake, and now holds the record for youngest ever player to get a homegrown contract in the MLS, beating Freddie Adu out for that spot. Obviously, Freddie Adu signed one of these balls back here. Yeah, I think he's on this one. Freddie's on this one. Maybe it's time to get an Axel Kai signature.
Maybe.
But Freddie Adu did not end up, filling his potential like people thought he would. I think he's playing in the Swedish second division now or something like that. So clearly, he didn't end up doing what people thought. But I think there's hope for this Axel Kai guy, I guess. I mean, I don't really know a lot about him other than he looks like an absolute machine and he's only 14 years old. Like,
Yeah.
dude is so shredded and looks like he's 27. So, I mean, we'll see.
Bright future.
Oh, bright future. We are moving on now to the beloved section of the podcast, which is your questions. We have one question this week that we've picked. If you want to have a question on the pod, I mean, I honestly feel like we've kind of discontinued our Discord server. Like, we don't really advertise it anymore, so like, I don't really think
It's still there if you want to use
yeah,
it.
if you guys want to join it, you can. I don't even know if we have a join code though. So if you really want a question to be answered, just send it to COG Weekly Official,
Mhm.
and then we'll answer it. But the question we got this week that we thought was really nice or really like good question for us to debate was, who's the best player in the Premier League that cannot score? And I think it's an interesting one. I think there's two people that I would say, but I'll let you go first to see if you take one of them or don't.
So I interpreted this question as like, who is a forward player that is like very good, but you're just like, if only he could score, he would
Yeah.
be an incredible player.
Yeah, basically makes a lot happen,
Yeah.
but it doesn't get the ball in the net.
So I have two that, come to mind. And first one is who we just played, Adama Traore, even though he did score.
I swear if
it
you
was-
steal both mine, that's gonna be funny.
so that was one of them.
Yeah, that's one.
Okay. I'm not stealing my second one is not yours. I know this.
Are you sure?
I have it. Yeah.
Are you sure?
I do. Because I'm not going to say Mape because
No, that's not who I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay. But I mean, he's just incredibly fast and strong. But yeah, if Adama Traore could score, he would definitely be the best player in the Prem without a doubt. If he had like the scoring ability of Mo Salah, that'd be insane.
Oh my gosh!
Did
If
you say?
Adama has Mo Salah's scoring ability,
Yeah.
he'd be the best player in the world.
Yeah.
It would be unreal.
Like
He would
that's
be doing
unstoppable.
unspeakable things.
Yeah, that's unstoppable. But second player is Shane Long.
Ah, yes, I get mine. I get mine.
So
Let's go.
Shane Long, legend of the game, Southampton legend as well.
He looks like, he's really constipated when he runs.
He does kind of back a little bit. Regardless, he just doesn't score for us, but he works really hard.
So bad.
Yeah. So I mean, I love the man, but he's not very good. Who's your player?
But he works really hard.
Yeah, who's your player?
I'm gonna say Embuemo.
Oh,
I think he's hit the post more than anyone else in the history of the world this
that's
season.
very true.
Um,
I didn't even think of it.
yeah,
That's
so
very
I'm gonna
true.
be putting him out there. Him and Traore are my two because Traore he scored his first goal of the whole season,
Yeah.
and he didn't even score towards the end of last season, and he
No.
scored that like a couple days ago. That was the first goal he scored in like literally 9 months as a forward player, which is just not ideal, and someone who gets time. But yeah, Embuemo has definitely hit the post more than like anyone in world
Yeah.
history this season. It's
I mean,
ridiculous.
Tony can't score either.
No,
They've got a bit of an issue.
They
up
do.
top.
They're kind of like Brighton.
But like, yeah, that's true. I feel like
We score our own goals.
Tony and Mape are pretty similar.
Yeah.
As in like,
Well,
you
Mape.
know,
Well,
like,
so both played for Brentford.
for Brentford, yeah.
in the
And they're both
championship,
insane for Brentford.
and both scored incredible numbers.
Yeah.
For Brentford, and both are having similar seasons in the Prem.
It's just the Brentford style.
It's how they coach him.
It is.
They coach him to do well in the championship.
Yeah.
And then flake off a bit in the Prem. All right, now is the big time. The time that us
Technical director.
technical director, it's your time to shine here.
This is
the
something
time-
new we're trying.
Yeah, this is something new we're trying for everyone
Yeah.
watching live. I'm really excited for you guys to be able to see it, and everyone watching on YouTube, afterwards.
Yeah.
And so we are trying out something new here, and we're gonna see how it goes. And if you guys enjoy this, we might do this for other parts of the pod. And if you don't, I hope that doesn't happen. But I'm really excited to announce that we have a couple overlays for the next parts of our pod. So moving into predictions, here it comes. Here it is. Look at this great stuff around me.
It should be on now.
That's great. That's fantastic. There's beautiful stuff
see.
all around me. Yeah, we're waiting for.
Oh.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is nice.
I love how my hand kind of moves in. Like, look at this. Look how long my arm probably is.
I mean, that's your wingspan's probably like
Wingspan's probably like
8 feet.
8 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think
could
so.
probably like stand on one
Mhm.
hand on the ground and then the other one straight in the sky and
Yeah.
touch rim.
Exactly.
So yeah, we have this new overlay. So it's
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. He says love it.
We love it as well.
So great. So yeah, we have predictions for this week. And very excited to be starting a new game, which is going to be predictions. It's going to be called.
We've had it.
Predictions.
It's kind of like the Hasani. It's been in the past.
It has.
But really not at this
It's-
production.
No, not at this
Yeah.
production quality. So we will be predicting 3 games
Yeah.
every week. We can go into scores, but the scores of the games, but the actual points that are awarded for each of us will just be if we win. or
Win, draw,
lose.
loss. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first game that we'll be predicting, I will let you introduce it.
So don't have these be influenced, like my decision be influenced by yours.
No,
right?
should I just plug my ears?
Yeah, you probably should. Because I have mine already chosen. But
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
I'm doing it straight off. Though.
okay. So the first
Wait,
game,
no. Give me like 5 seconds, and I'll just run through it
Okay.
right now. Let's see here. Okay, I have it.
All right. So we have Ivory Coast versus Algeria, an AFCON matchup here for the
An
first.
AFCON delight.
Yes, and for some context, Ivory Coast tied 2-2 with their last game, conceded a last-minute goal. I don't know if you saw it, but their goalie mishandled the ball, so it was a header back pass, so he could pick it up. It went past him, and it was gonna go out, so he slid and had it in his hands, and the grass is like super dry, so he got caught, and then it slipped through his hands. And then the other player just put it in the net, and they tied 2-2. So extremely unfortunate. They should have won the game, but
That's a tough one.
Algeria also lost to.
Did you hear Riyad? It's just like on a tangent here.
Yeah.
Riyad Mahrez had like $300,000 stolen from him.
What?
From him, and he didn't notice until about 3 months later because he's got so much money in his bank account.
That's a flex.
That is an
But
absolute flex.
They're not doing too well. They're last in their group with only 1 point. Algeria, but they have a very decent side. So interesting matchup. Do you want to go first or me?
I'll go first.
Okay,
I'll take this one.
there you go.
I'm saying an Algeria win here.
Okay.
This is a shot in the dark,
Yeah.
but sometimes they say that. What do they say? They say that if you shoot for the moon, you land amongst the stars.
Mm.
So that's gonna happen here, and I'm gonna pick up some points. I'm landing amongst the stars. Suddy is so confused at how that has anything to do with this.
Okay, we have official
I'm
recording
keeping track
of the. Okay.
Oh,
of who you say.
nice.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I'm saying Algeria for this one against
Algeria.
Algeria versus Cote d'Ivoire, not Ireland. Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
there we go. For me, I'm going with a draw.
A draw.
So, as you said, Algeria kind of have to bounce back from this,
They
and
do.
they have to aim very highly, which
If
I
they
think
draw, they're out.
which I think they'll aim highly, but not high enough.
Yeah.
As Ivory Coast have a very decent squad. They're
If only Yaya could play.
Wilf Zaha and Sebastian Aller. Incredible front
Seabass.
line. Yeah.
What a ledge.
Incredible front line. They score. I think Zaha assisted Aller for one of their goals, and Zaha drew a penalty for their other goal. So I think they'll combine again. But I also think Mahrez will step it up a level. Obviously, we're not doing scores, but I think it'll be around 1-1 for the final score.
All right.
So a draw.
Respectable.
Sutton.
So Mac draw
Yeah.
and Lenny with a dub for Algeria. Yeah,
Yes.
what a beastly score. Okay, so the next game.
You want to make a guess the final score so we can compare?
No, I think we'll leave final score out.
That's
just
so
because
complicated.
it's complicated with how we would divide the point system. If Paul could devise a point system in the next 20 seconds
I
for
think
final scores, then we could do it.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming Paul can't.
Yeah.
So the next game, Juventus versus AC Milan.
Mhm.
This is a game that's really big in the Serie A. For people on screen, you can see the two badges facing up against each other, which is great. Yeah, right there. Nice. We might have just
We probably.
pointed to the top ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
we just pointed to the wrong ones.
All right.
That's great. But yeah, Juventus, AC Milan. And for this one, I'm predicting a draw.
Okay.
And it's because AC Milan are phenomenal in Serie A right now. But did you hear about the Paulo Dybala story?
I did.
So basically, Paulo Dybala, for those of you who don't know, the owners of the club were refusing to give him the renewal of his contract at the wages that he wanted, because they said that he has not been influential enough in the squad and that he has not been a good enough leader. So he scored in their most recent game, and then he looked up to the owner's box and he tightened his captain's armband, and a great little, I don't know, how would you call
It
it?
was like a glare to the
It was.
ownership.
Yeah, it was a little stunt to try to
Yeah.
get them to understand his impact on
Yeah.
the team, and so I think Paulo might bring some of that energy into the next game, and I think it's going to be a very close match
But end in a draw. Okay.
and in a draw.
AC Milan, also for context, they're 2 points off Inter for first. While Juventus are 7 points below that in fifth place. Just not a great season again, as you'll come to know in the All or Nothing documentary from last season as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying an AC Milan win.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think
Stirring up the pot.
it's good to have different scores.
The one thing I would say, if we predict the same thing, do we both get points?
Yeah, because we're recording our record, so
Yeah,
how many we have right, how many we have wrong.
that's a good point. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going AC Milan win. I haven't seen a lot from Juventus this year, and both the Milan teams are doing very well. Ibrahimovic might bag
it locked in?
one. You don't know.
LeBron will try to send him another jersey, and then he'll sign it and send it back.
Exactly. So
What a story that was.
it was great. So yes, AC Milan win. That is my final prediction. And then lastly, as you can see, Chelsea.
Or if you can't see.
True, if you're listening on audio, Chelsea versus Tottenham. Another Premier League matchup, but they just met up in the Carabao Cup semis where Chelsea beat Tottenham 4-0 on aggregate. So it wasn't really ever a close one in that competition, but for the Premier League, it could be a little closer. It is Chelsea at home, and I'll go first, I guess, if we're going back and
We're
forth.
going to have the same answer.
Chelsea win.
Chelsea win.
There we go.
I mean, it's stupid to not predict anything else it's stupid to predict anything else
Yeah.
because you're just throwing a win in your book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Your record needs to stay.
Yeah, I need to stay
Positive.
above 500.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm dipping below 500, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, I think Chelsea win at home. The only thing that's giving Tottenham hope is they did play well against Liverpool in that one game, but that was at Tottenham, and I think at Stamford Bridge, hostile environment. I don't think they'll survive.
Very hostile. The
So
fans throw, all
yeah.
their goodies that they've gotten throughout the games.
All right, and then finally, as we always do,
For the next template, please,
Any new-
producer.
fantasy.
The Fantasy
Premier
Premier
League.
League. What a great.
We don't even have to go on our phones now.
We
Well,
don't.
we might have to. We can't
Actually,
really see.
I do have to go on.
Yeah, we can't really see them
Yeah.
ourselves.
It should be up now.
There we
Perfect.
go.
That's wonderful for you, Suddy. Great job, by the way.
So I hope you guys enjoy. Yeah, that looks great.
It does.
Um,
Great stuff, Suddy. We do have to stay leaned over a bit for these ones
We do.
because, there's a bit of a,
we're cut
If
off.
I go
a
up
bit,
here-
but
gone. Now I'm back.
I think they can survive with that.
Oh yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
anyone's gonna be, kicking themselves because they can't see our beautiful faces
Yeah.
as much for like 1 minute.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'll go as we always do. We can start with fantasy and then go to the draft. As you can see on the screen, I got 46 points.
Great from you.
Huge above
It
average.
just looks really bad though for both of us.
Huge above average. As you can see, hadn't really clocked that Mendy was at AFCON. Christensen also injured. Livermento also injured. But a captaining of Ward-Prowse was genius for me.
That's fantastic.
Fernandez and De Bruyne. My midfield really carried there. Nothing really happening anywhere else. But I really enjoyed that week for my fantasy team. What about you?
So I know you didn't clock that Mendy was gonna be at AFCON, but I didn't clock that Ismail Assar, Mohamed Salah, and Wilfried Zaha were gonna be at AFCON.
It's a lot of red.
Oh,
and
it's
orange.
a lot. Vardy
So how many of your
also
players actually played?
5. Well, 4.
4. Okay.
2 of them still have a game to go. Because obviously Tuesday, Wednesday is the double game week.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
Mape
Christensen.
has a double game week this week.
Christensen does too, but he's not playing, so it's
Yeah.
difficult. But
But yeah, 14 points is basically like the lowest you can get. So
Yeah.
clearly I didn't really calculate this well enough.
yeah, exactly.
Wait, so did you know we were going to start showing our fantasy teams? Start like before this game week?
No, I swear to God.
So you switched it around on purpose. Like did you switch your team around?
No, I just did after I sent in I put Schmeichel in for Mendy, and that's all I did.
Really?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. So for our draft, if you just look over to the draft side on
Oh
the
yeah, it's beautiful. You
template,
can just look right
you
over.
can follow along with us. I mean, it's really all over the place. Smith Rowe didn't play, Salah didn't play, Iheanacho didn't play, Pope didn't play,
Wow, that's tough from you.
but still finished with 36 points, which again is above average for the fantasy team. But I had Jack Harrison, who had a hat trick, which we didn't really talk about, but
We didn't.
because it's Leeds.
Yeah, it's Leeds, and he's not Vincent Abubakar.
Yeah. So Jack Harrison with 20 points. Ward-Prowse, it pays to have Ward-Prowse in all of your teams. 6 points. Not captain. You can't captain in draft. But what about you?
So I got 28 points so far, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 players still to play a game. And only 2 players are out, Mane and Benrahma.
Oh, wow. I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I did better in the draft than I did in the regular, which is kind of expected considering
Yeah.
how well I did in the regular. But it wasn't terrible. But yeah, I could have probably done more on both fronts.
Yeah.
Did you see the guy who finished first or like had the highest number of points in all of fantasy at 115 this week.
Oh my god.
He triple captained Jack Harrison.
Wow.
Like, how do you ever?
But those are always.
How do you
happening,
ever
know?
think to triple captain Jack Harrison?
But think of the amount of fantasy players who just like us just don't.
My dad's in the top 10,000 right now.
That's very good.
It's insane.
Yeah, but for the draft, I was surprised. So I beat Paul and Dom, and I'm in second place.
Where am I?
Oh no, you're in fifth. You're mid-table.
I'm mid-table. Who's last? Is it technical director
Sutton,
Sutton?
yes.
Ah,
And
that's tough.
Dom is second to last.
Dom
So
is
Dom's
struggling.
pretty much last, but I'm 6 points behind first, which really I'm not going to catch up, but very solid Champions League position. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the templates.
Oh yeah, it's great. It is great.
We'll continue those.
Yeah, we will. That concludes the fantasy section. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing really else to talk about other than we're very excited to get back at it next week. Although we might have to do a little postponement because I'm actually in Florida on Monday,
Oh.
which is a tough one. But we'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
We never miss a beat with you guys.
No.
we really don't.
Sometimes.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Hopefully you had some laughs and you were able to learn a thing or two. What's the motto?
We know a thing or two.
Because we've seen a thing or
We've
two.
seen a thing.
Yeah, here at Class on Grass Weekly, COG Weekly, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. Peace.